The Bannerlord Separatist Crisis mod for Mount and Blade to Bannerlord is one of those big overall projects a lot of players have been anxiously waiting for to see it finished and get their hands on. Imagine a single player experience that lets you roam around in that galaxy far, far away, set during the Clone Wars. And as it is a total conversion mod, the vanilla game is thus completely transformed, offering you a nice variety of planets with custom locations that you can visit. Think of desert battle maps on Geonosis, the clone facilities on Camino, the desert planet of Tatooine, peaceful Alderaan, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and so on. And I must say, the work the modders have done on these maps is absolutely amazing. Just the level of detail and attention alone to some of these locations, truly immersing the player into the Star Wars setting. And they did mention on occasion in their earlier developer blogs that their intent is to create the most ambitious Star Wars mod for Mount and Blade, surpassing the previous versions and attempts, and to make it an unforgettable experience for thousands to enjoy. And I've said it before with other major overhaul projects that I've covered on this channel, sometimes you just gotta have a little bit of patience. Let the modding community cook. And it is therefore with much pleasure that I can share with you guys that the Separatist Crisis modding team has announced that they will release a playable alpha of their mod sometime later this year for you to enjoy. This mod, needless to say, is highly anticipated by the community, especially in this period of time where Star Wars as a brand is at an all-time low, let's be honest. And from what I can tell, most players want to go back to those early days of the original and prequel trilogies, out of a sense of nostalgia and simply because those films are just vastly better than almost anything Disney put out since they took over. And with the Clone Wars being considered as the most popular setting among Star Wars fans, this mod will more than likely be right up your space alley. When we talk about Bannerlord overhaul mods, a key word that keeps coming back is immersion. As a modder, you are transforming the vanilla game from its fictional medieval setting of Calradia to either an historical setting like England during the Wars of the Roses, or the Sengoku Jedi period in Japan, or you change it to a fantasy setting like that of the Lord of the Rings, or in this case, the Star Wars galaxy. These mods often improve upon the vanilla game, especially when it comes to mechanics, and the visuals of course, offering more immersive battlefields and locations that fit the style and setting you're going for. Here's for example a sample of what the atmosphere on Geonosis may be like when you are fighting a battle on this planet. I really like the backdrop. The fact that you got ground-to-air turbo lasers firing in the background, as well as the wind, the smoke and the dusty environment we're all too familiar with when it comes to this planet. It looks fantastic, and this is of course still a work in progress, but it just shows the level of dedication from the modding team. One of the more recent showcases they've shared with us is that of the planet of Alderaan, the home planet of Princess Leia Organa, and characterized by its peaceful culture and depicted as a beautiful blue-green terrestrial planet. As such, the integration of nature in almost every aspect of the city was important to the modding team, making sure there was some form of balance between technology and nature. Stunning work, I must say. Now with many different planets come different cultures and troops, and of course a massive amount of equipment in the form of blasters, rifles, lightsabers and more to keep you intrigued throughout your entire playthrough. You'll also be able to use vehicles, especially during sieges from what I can tell. And not too long ago, one of the modders showcased us an early glimpse of spaceships battling it out above the site of a land battle, with you having the option to leave and enter the fighter to fight it out in the sky. The lag in this case, we're told, is because of OBS recording and not the game's fault. Also, the fighters you see here are not the 3D assets from the Separatist Crisis mod, and they will be changed as well as all the animations, projectiles and effects. Honestly, I'm really excited about this project. I still love Star Wars, and the Separatist Crisis mod reminds me of those good old days. Nowadays, after the decade of mismanagement by Disney, you have this fatigue, indifference even towards new Star Wars projects. At least that's how I feel. They simply do not elicit the same amount of excitement as before. And I do blame Disney for that. Firstly with the sequel trilogy, the way it was written without proper planning, and then with the sheer volume of TV show content that was spat out onto our screens, where you got endless callbacks to the originals and eventually the prequels, stemming out of an overall lack of creativity to make something new themselves. And plain and simple, bad writing. Let us also not forget that they said they would give us one movie every year, but that tone quickly changed after the backlash the sequel trilogy received. And now you get to wait 7 years to see The Mandalorian and Grogu. The absolute state of Disney Star Wars. So yeah, it's nice to see dedicated fans of the franchise committed in making a mod that delivers a truly unforgettable roleplay experience to its players and that stays true to the heart and soul of this franchise. An explorable galaxy with lots of planets you can visit, custom factions you can join, such as the Galactic Republic, the Separatist Alliance, the Hot Cartel, and Mandalorian factions, revamped siege mechanics with Star Wars vehicles, a custom force ability system with dark, grey and light side abilities, and a system that lets you fully customize melee weapons via the blacksmithing system. And if you decide to make your own faction, you can base its units on an existing faction, or, as teased in their planned features, rebuild the Old Republic or even the Sith Empire. How cool is that? Let me know if you're excited about the Separatist Crisis mod or what you're looking forward to the most. I'll be sure to keep you all informed on when the official release date is announced here on the channel. And if you're interested in staying up to date on a more regular basis, I highly recommend checking out their Discord server, the link to which can be found in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos regarding games and mod related content, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care everyone.